you Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Tony, David. Shadow, you're in early. Good morning, good morning. Haven't seen Chris. No Chris today. All right, so we're going to hop right into this because I have a good framework for today. We'll see if it plays out. But the weekly chart here, I always start on the weekly chart. It's Wednesday, so I like to see if the weekly profile is shaping out the way it should, which you can see we have an open. We made our way down for a low. Now we should expand up and then have a close if this is going to be a clean weekly profile. All right, we did go into this discount wick. We stayed in the upper half, so that's good. We still have this weekly volume imbalance up here that I'm eyeing, but also we have this premium wick here too, so we'll see how that goes. And for the daily, here's the daily chart. Finally, we're kind of coming out of this little chop zone here. We did close above this volume, this fair value gap here a few days ago, but then, as you know, we did pull back here, stayed in this discount wick in the upper half, like I was pointing out, and now we're expanding up. We took all these highs, took yesterday's high, so we'll see if we do turn bullish here. You know, now that we're trading up here, then the next stop, really, we still have this volume imbalance. And the reason why it's going over this opening here on this candle is because when we pulled up here, this candle, the body is up here. So this, even though we wicked up through it, this remains, right? So I marked up from here to here. That way, if we do go up, that's a target. And we'll see what we do from there. All right, 4-hour chart. This is where I'm looking at. Zoom in here on this 4-hour chart. This is where I was talking about the other day. We pull back here. This actually may be a bullish order block, these two down candles here. So because we came down, took the lows over here, came up with this fair value gap, stayed above it. We did wick down. Now we've displaced up through this high, leaving another fair value gap here. And now we're continuing to push higher. So at the moment, what I'm looking at is this fair value gap, this 4-hour. I want to see if we do end up coming down. This is going to be a little key area for me right here to see if we can get below that. But the lower time frames actually show me I don't need it to get below that because I have a reason for it to get right to the high of that fair value gap. And I'll show you in a second. The 1 hour, basically I didn't have much because on the 1 hour, when I drop down here, yeah, I have some stuff down way below, but I really don't care about too much below that 4-hour fair value gap for the moment. So on the 1 hour, on this current leg up that we're in, if you look here, we have a fair value gap here. So as we're pushing up, I do want to see if we do come down. If we are going to be bullish, remember, we should see at the open a move down and then continue up if the market's going to operate the way it should. So what I'm wanting to see is this 1 hour fair value gap. If we do open and come down, do we get past this area? So right now around this 25,100 is my first key area that I'm looking at. If we get past that, I think we get down here to about this 988 and then continue up for the rest of the day. However, that doesn't mean we're going to do that. We could open and go straight up to that volume imbalance. So we'll see. The 15-minute chart, this is where everything is for me. I'm leaving this sell side liquidity. I don't think we get down there today, but I'm leaving that here for another day. The sell side liquidity I had marked yesterday in case if price gets, down the road, days later, next week, starts coming down, I have that there as a reminder. But also, if I take this dealing range from this high that we made to this previous day low here, and I mark it out, equilibrium is right here. And what do we have? A big measuring gap right there in the middle. So I love that. I'm looking at this 15-minute fair value gap right there as a key area. So now what I want to see is there anything obvious? For me, we have a lot of sell side liquidity right here, right above that 4-hour fair value gap and this 15-minute fair value gap. So if we do make our way past below this 25,100, think that's a nice area, that 988.50. Now also in between there, internal range liquidity. I'm looking at this as an obvious sell side liquidity here as well. That way, we're about to open here in a minute. That way, if we do come down and we get past this 25,100, I think we're going to hit that. And then if we get past that, then I have the area below. So we'll see. We just opened and we're popping straight up. Like I said, that it doesn't mean we're going to open and go down. But if I'm going to be bearish, what do I like? I like for price to open, go down, and then make its way up. However, if it's going to be really, really bullish, it could open, go up, and just keep going up. And that's why I have the target above here at this daily volume bounce. Like, I really think we're going to get up there today. It's just normally you like to see it move down first, but you don't have to have that, or I don't have to have that. And I do know we're going to have we do have a opening range gap because we gapped up. So here's our open. Here's the low there. Because of this too, like we have a very big opening range gap right at about 25,020. We opened right up here at about 160. I would be cautious too. Like we could just go straight up, but I would be cautious first until we hit the midpoint of it, which is right in here in this, right below this 25,100 area I was mentioning. So, like I say, it could just go straight up, but have patience today. We do have a few Fed speakers. So early this morning, they're not high impact or anything, but you know, just never know. Never know. So let's see what we get today. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Hey, Chris, there you go. Yeah, Shadow did beat you for sure, Chris. Like you were nowhere to be found. All right, as a reminder, I will not be here tomorrow or Friday live streaming. I will not. And I'm trying to get it set up to where that way when I come back to streaming Monday, it'll be streaming on all the platforms. There shouldn't be a reason why it's not ready by Monday to stream to Facebook, X, and Discord, and YouTube. You just forgot to say good morning today. Morning, cream cheese. Max, good morning. You only want 50 points profit today, then you're happy. That's always a great day. Grabbing 50 points. For me, my minimum, I try to get 35. If I can get 35 to 40, I'm good. Obviously, 40 to 60 is my sweet spot. I very rarely get much more than 60 points on a trade anymore. And that's, I mean, I remember last year I was getting, there's a lot of days I'd get 70, 80 points, but that was also, I was getting those whenever we had the tariff stuff in last March. I had a great, that was probably one of my best months ever last March during all the tariff stuff. Turn on my news feed in my Discord here real quick so I can have that on the screen. Hey, Will, good morning. Yeah, those were, but those tariff days, I was having to risk my full 40 points on a trade, but I was hitting 80, 90, 100 point winners. That was nice. So I'm gonna, here, let's see. I'm on the 1 minute here. Let's go to the 4 hours. See, now the 1 hour. We're getting close to this 1 hour fair value gap. So we'll see if it has any hesitation, if it hits it or not. Here, I'll mark it on my chart so we can see it. Oh, and actually, you know what? You might not be able to see it. This one here to the left. So I'm not going to be too eager to just go long though yet, because like I said, if I'm expecting bullishness, I'd prefer to open and go down, draw down first, and it didn't do that, so I just want to be careful. I got to refresh because I think I have another data blip there. There we go. And so a couple things I don't like right now is we open with straight up, and on top of that, we have the midpoint of the opening range gap down here too. So we'll see. I use the news feed in my Discord. It's streams financial juice into my Discord. So since I have Discord open anyways, I just put it on the newsfeed channel. All right, how's everybody been this week? Y'all making it? We're doing all right. As some of you saw in my Discord yesterday, I ended up making up my loss with the 1050 macro, making up my loss and netted about 18 points for the day. So I'll take it. Green is green. Good week so far. Nice, Max. That's great. So I always try to prep my mind, kind of like I was talking about yesterday, where if I'm doing really well, like I'm just like green day, green day, green day, green day, and let's say I get like a few, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days in a row, I start mentally prepping my mind. Like, you know, the old saying, don't get too high when the going's good, don't get too low when the going's bad. Like I start trying to prep myself like, all right, I know a losing day will come. So, and it's okay. And when that happens, walk away. Yeah, so I'm sure you've seen, and if you haven't had a violation to your own personal account through Apex and just seeing on social media, yeah, if you have a violation, it'll get deducted. It'll notify you that evening or it'll get deducted the next day, which is, I mean, it's good because the trade-off is, because if you remember how it worked in the past, you'd go your whole 8 days, 10 days, 20 days, however long it took you to get to a payout, and then you get denied because you had a violation. And violations are not the end of the world. I mean, it happens. There's accidents. There's things that happen, right? But I prefer personally as a trader that if I have a violation, it's like crap, whether, whatever, accidents happen. I'd rather it just like be taken care of immediately. That way I can get on with my life, my trading life. All right, it's done. I just need to trade some more. Need to, just we're good to go. That way I know when I get to pay out again, it's going to get approved. And that's what I like. I love the new dashboard. That was so needed because now you can know exactly where you are every single day. There's no surprises. And as long as you, like that dashboard's good, when you get to payout, you go put your payout in, you're going to get approved. Like there's no wondering anymore. And that's huge. Like Apex has needed that for a long time. So to me, that's such a big step. Yeah, wasting trading days. And that was the biggest complaint. And I get it. I'm a trader, right? I get it. So it's like, it does. It's like, and some people, not everybody realizes they had a violation, right? Like, and there's also some people out there that they don't actually know the rules because maybe they signed up and they didn't really take the time to see, okay, what actual rules do I need to trade by? So, it's just a huge step that I think is, I'm telling y'all, Apex, like, there's been some competition come out, right? Like, we know that. You got some other competitors, there's been some good programs or whatever, but Apex is really about to just make that jump again to show why Apex is on top of everything. Exactly, Will. That's the goal. So like the goal is no denied payouts. It's like when if you get to that payout screen and you're able to click request, you're going to get approved. So yeah. That's huge. That is huge. Mm, got my yogurt. Yeah, and you get the occasional rogue trader, just like I know y'all have been seeing on social media. There's a lot of people playing the game to manipulate the rules and try to get payout schemes and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, sure. If they find, there's a whole risk team. If they find, somebody looking to manipulate the system or scam, they may call them out, like not publicly, but they may like shoot them a support ticket and say, hey, what's going on? And sometimes if there's red flags, they might have to figure out what's happening. But typically, that's not the let me say. Usually those are the people that are like there's big red flags of scamming, right? Like hedging with other people and like actually stuff like that to try to get payouts they're not trading. They're just trying to go from prop firm to prop firm and trying to just get payouts. So I bring yogurt for everyone. No, I didn't bring yogurt for everyone. This is just I've gotten away from eating breakfast. I used to always for a long time be like, I gotta have a nice breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Like I was under that, Now I actually like to I try not to eat much until around lunchtime. So it's kind of hard. So I'll have a yogurt. But it's actually kept me a lot more healthy, to be honest. But I'm pretty active. Like I play basketball 3 times a week. I need to get back in the gym and lift weights. I haven't really worked out in a long time, but I don't really care about that as much anymore. Like back in my 20s, wanted to be fit and look good. I don't care so much about that anymore. I just want to be healthy, so staying active. That's what I care about more. So I'm like, you know what? Basketball. I love basketball. It's an easy way for me to stay active. Just play basketball a few days a week and try to do the best I can. So it's all we can do, right? The best we can, and there's something out there that's going to kill you anyways, whether it's we don't know, what they're putting in all the food and all kinds of stuff, whatever. Like, yeah, I'll see a documentary or something on Netflix, and it's like, can you imagine? Can you believe what they put in your food or your water or this and that? I'm like, if I watch any of that stuff, I'm gonna like feel like I have to go live off the grid and grow my own food and slaughter my own cows. Otherwise, I can't think about it. It's just what it is, I guess. I'll let nature take its course. Yeah, I don't eat. I hardly ever eat fried foods though. I don't eat fried foods. And I consume very, very little sugar. That's my 2 biggest things that I do try to stay away from as much as possible. Fried foods and sugar. Not 100%, right? Because I'm not trying to live like a crazy life. But is like probably 90%, 80 to 90% of the food I eat is not fried and doesn't have sugar. Although I'll be in Frisco tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. So I may be making a stop by this little hot dog truck called El Perro Loco. That would be, somebody in chat knows about that one. Might give me a dog. All right, so we are making our way up into this 1 hour fair value gap. And see, this is what, like, you see how we're slowly moving up? Like, we had this expansion, this big pop at the open. And now look at the action, right? Look at this price action in here. Slowly making our way up here. And to be honest, like, I'm going to be very careful today. And I might not, chance I might not get a trade, because if this just keeps creeping up, like, I really think we're going to get up to this volume balance. Excuse me. But I want to make sure that we're not going to slam down, because, like I said, we have clean, nice, good sell side liquidity, and we have not hit the midpoint of that opening range gap. So I want to make sure we're not going to just turn around like around 950 or something. But I think we do get up, because my target today, where I really thought we were going to get to at some point today, is this volume imbalance up here. So yeah. Hey, trading can do so much for you, especially if you, like, that's why I mean, I've said this many times. That's why I like to preach about trading well and doing great, because if you do it right, like, you could take your profits. And for me, trading is earned income, right? So, like, it's not passive. You have to physically be there to do it. Personally, like, because I've been in finance and I have, like, all these, what I like to do is I like to take earned income and put it into something that can create passive income. Whatever that is. Assets, whatever it is. So, like, most people, their jobs, like, there's very little excess income after their jobs, right? After paying expenses, bills, all that. So trading, if you get a couple extra $1,000 here and there, then, hey, you could set that aside and put it into something that's going to pay you passively. All right, so I'm looking, now we're finally expanding. We traded through this 1 hour fair value gap pretty easily. I'm going to get rid of it here. I don't know that we may not come back to anything before expanding up to that daily volume imbalance. We're just looking like we're straight shooting right up to it. So we have another little fair value gap in here, but I'm being very cautious on this. Still very early. But I do like, because if you look at the 15-minute chart, here's the 15-minute chart. Like, this big expansion, we might get a BISI in here. And for us to not get a BISI, I mean, you'd have to turn around pretty fast in the next 11 and a half minutes to come all the way back down to that opening there. So there's a high probability that we'll get that BISI. I'm going to get in the habit of refreshing my chart every now and then so I don't have a data blip. Yeah, that one that one is, here's the daily chart. Right here. We already traded. We already rebalanced it. Yeah, the third and fourth. We already rebalanced it, but the reason why I added it back, because we were expanding up. I wanted to see, since we haven't completely, like, inverted it and closed on the other side, and I see we're expanding up, I wanted to have a target in case if it does come into it and kind of hesitate and bounce around in there. But I think we do get to the other side of it. Or at least get in it. And again, we have Fed speakers. I think 9:30 and 11 a.m. today. So I'm not seeing any news though as far as what's being said. I did see. Yeah, they're not saying anything on the feed. But at this point, the way we've opened and expanded up, I don't think we come back down to those areas that I mentioned until after we go up. If we do go down, until after we at least go up into this volume balance. Because I don't really see us. It is possible, but I don't really see us, going up here, getting close, and then just, coming down. Obviously, if we get displacement down, you can't ignore displacement. So just kind of wait. But that's what I was saying at the beginning. I'm more bullish today, thinking we were going to just come up. I just really wanted to see that, see it go down first at the open and then go up. And I'm having a good year this year, but trading wise, but it has not, I'm not going to lie, like every day has been not the best day. There's been very few days that it's like, okay, framework's super clean. I know exactly what I'm looking for. An entry happens and does exactly like no heat just goes. Like there's been very few days like that. Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. The market's been tough. And that's when, discipline starts getting challenged. And then when you throw any tech issues on top of that, it just really becomes tough. And that's why it's hard to be a full-time trader. Like, it's really hard. And people think it's easier and just, don't, they go full-time too soon. Like, if you don't have extra other income and you don't have like a really big savings, like, I would almost say even more than 1 year's worth of expenses saved, like 2 years. Then it becomes hard because people quit. Now every loss they're connecting that to I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills, and you can't trade that way. Absolutely can't trade that way. So I personally feel like having 1 to 2 years of expenses saved in cash and another source of income, that's the way to do it. Like I feel like nobody should just have only trading income. Like even if it's that you're not at a job, at least have some other income. Whatever it is, a business, investments, something. That's what you do on the side, Shadow? Yeah, but Shadow told me on the side that he does that for guys though. So kidding. Seriously, just kidding. No, but I'm serious. You know, I don't judge. No judging. I heard OnlyFans pays really good. Shadow. That rancher style, I think is what it is. Buttless chaps, assless chaps. Is that what it is, Shadow? Ranch hand. Yeah. No, don't DM me a pic later. Tony, you got hammered at the open yesterday. Thought it was coming all the way down to the order block. Yeah, that's why a lot of days I don't like, even if it looks crystal clear, sometimes that first 10 minutes, I really like to sometimes just wait and be, either wrong or just kind of just wait. Because, man, that really, the first 15 to 20 minutes is highly manipulated on the day. So we have a little Bissy here that we did pull back to twice now, but I'm not really, I don't want to go long off of this. We have this one. This one I may consider, but I want to see how we pull back if we do. And it might not. It might just say, you know what, this was all I needed. Was this little Bissy right here that I can't even get. It's so small here. There we go. I don't, that for me, it's not comfortable enough for me to take a trade off of this. That is 306. This high is, 2.5 point Bissy there. I'm not risking a trade off that. I'll let it go. I don't care. And on top of that, we had a Sibby form right here on that little pullback. So I don't like that. Just going to keep waiting. All right, 10 o'clock. Let's see what we do here. The 10 o'clock hour. Got another little Bissy right in here, but I'm not with this inversion. I'm just not loving anything. Not loving anything right now. They might have taken any trades. Which it always does suck whenever you have targets and you have areas you think price is going to, and you just got to watch it go there. Because you always want to take a ride to it, but it's not always there. That's what I talked about yesterday or whatever it was. You can't have, if you have a specific entry that you always use and you don't get an entry to it, you just got to watch it and don't get FOMO. Remember, no FOMO around here. Not even if it's Kyle. Not even if it's Shadow over there doing his ranch dance. No FOMO. I mean, as long as he has an entry, as long as it's not a YOLO go long, play it by rules. I'm sure there's entries in here for some people. Yeah, my biggest saying for myself has always been, and I know I've said it a million times, is if I take this trade and it loses, how will I feel? Because I already know there's certain things that like makes me like want to tilt or spiral. And it's taking a trade and losing on a trade that I know I shouldn't have taken. That's what gets me. Or, whatever it is, if it's not my specific entry. And I used to struggle with that. Like, I had Trade Zella for a long time, and I built up this whole game plan of like, okay, I need this, for me to take an entry. Like 10 things to happen. And I had to get super disciplined with that because there was times where, okay, I didn't have this, but it's fine, I'll take it because I know it's going to go there. And then it loses, and I'm like, God. And then I tilt. And that's what I found for me, what one of the biggest triggers for tilting was me taking a trade that wasn't by my entry rules. And that's because I'd be like, oh, I know it's going here. I didn't get an entry, but I know it's going there. So I'm going to jump in, put a 20, 30 point stop or put it under a swing, whatever it is. And then it'd come take me out. And I'd get so mad. That was stupid. Why am I so stupid? Yeah, word of advice, Shadow. If you put it on your screen, make sure you read it. And I say that because Will messes with me all the time because I had my little sticky note on the bottom of my screen. And I admitted it'd be there, and I'd look at it, and then I'd realize a month later, hey, I didn't look at my sticky note. I haven't looked at my sticky note for a month. You missed your chances to go long on NQ? Yeah. I haven't had any entry for me. There's technically one here, but there's no way I would have taken this, though, because right there where we came into this one, and the reason why I wouldn't have taken that is because this was the 9:30 opening pop. Boom. And then 3 minutes later, we came into it. And, when I'm bullish, I like to see, even if it pops, I like to see it come down and then go up. And we didn't have that. So this was way too early for me to look for short. A long. But that's a big accomplishment, Shadow. If you can identify targets and price usually gets there, that's huge. Because for me, that was a thing that happened a lot. Towards the beginning even to the midpoint of last year, where I'm like, I know where price is going. It ends up getting there, but maybe I took a loss. Anyways, I'm like, golly, how do I fix this? Because it usually almost always goes to where I think it's going to go. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but it still gets to where I thought it was going to go. Obviously, I can't just jump in and have a huge stop or no stop and just let it go and finally get there. Like, that's terrible money management. So I had to figure out, how can I make sure my entries, are my stops too tight? Are my entries, do I need to go to a 5-minute entry, 5-minute chart? Like, what do I need to do here? And for me, the answer was Will's 15-second confirmation model. Like, that was, man, I can't explain how great that was. Because that's really what I needed, was some type of extra confirmation. Because I would literally, you know, if I thought it was going up here and I saw a good fair value gap, as soon as it touched it, I'm going long. And going here, stop at a swing low where it shouldn't reach back under, which that was working great. But, you know, I hovered around a 60% win rate, which was fine. And I stayed last year at about a 1.25 RR. So I made money, right? Obviously, that's going to make money. But my thing was like 60%. I mean, that's great. Like, don't get me wrong, it's great. But if there's any improvement that can be made, I want to make it. And I did. You usually have a tight stop loss? Yeah. So, you know, one thing you can do, if you usually have a tight stop loss, what I've seen normally that equate to is, one, either you don't want to risk much, which is fine, right? Or, depending on your entry, maybe you're not putting it at the right place of where the market's allowed to trade. If you have a tight stop loss, it might even be worth, like, unless if you change things completely, it might even be worth just having a fast trigger to move to break even and then let it ride from there. That way, maybe eliminating some losses, because a lot of times, I mean, we know most of these entries, if you're trading ICT concepts, it can go into almost any fair value gap and do a little bump up from there, even if it's not the right one, even if it's not going to go, like, a lot of times, it's not going to just go straight through a fair value gap. So if you enter whatever your entry is and you get that little pop up, 5-10 points, just go straight to break even. That might be a strategy, you know, where you can eliminate some losses, but then still get those winning trades. But being a break even trader comes with a whole nother psychology to it. You have to be okay with it knocking you out of break even and then going. And that, I know, will tilt a lot of people. Like, that will tilt a lot of people. And it used to me too. I used to talk about that all the time. I'd rather take full loss than go to break even and it knocked me out of break even and then go win, because that would spark my spiral. It doesn't for me anymore because I have this 15-second confirmation model. So that changed. I'm telling y'all, that changed the game for me. I have this little Sibby. I'm not liking much yet. Still, like, we got that 15-minute, or let me mark that one, because we got that 15-minute busy here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Although, y'all know my rule with the 15-minute fair value gap that's created from the opening bar. That's a 50-50 of it coming back through it, based on my data that I've collected over the past 3 years. If you have a very strong reason for it to come down through it, it could. Although, if there's not as much of a reason to come down and you have a better reason for it to continue up, then it may just pull back to it. Then look for displacement out of it again. Although it's 10:10, we're getting a very stagnant, not so fun looking price action day. It's Wednesday. We may see something later in the day. We may see something in the 11 o'clock hour. Maybe in the afternoon. We'll see. Yeah, there you go, Max. Wait for 10:21. See what happens. Let the fun begin. You know, it'd be funny if we get this, start pulling back here, get in here, maybe hit this 15-minute fair value gap, and then 10:21 displaces out, and let's go. That 10:21 is something. But look how close we got to the bottom of this volume imbalance. Couple ticks, maybe. But if you don't have your risk parameters set up for yourself in Rhythmic or Tradeovate or your live account, you need to do it. Just do it. Set up your max. Like if you have a max losing, like if you risk whatever, however many points you risk for the day, if that equals $300, go in there, set it for $350, $400. Give yourself a little buffer just in case, you know, for slippage and commissions. And set that thing in there. And it'll lock you out for the day. Once you hit that, I mean, that's going to save you more times than not. The days that you do spiral, because we're all human and we will eventually want to take another trade or do whatever, it's going to knock you out. It's going to save the day. It's going to save the day. Yep. I'm a big believer in that. And, you know, there was times where I was like, my discipline's good. I don't need that. I'm fine. But why not? Why not just do it? It's going to save yourself, because there's been times I take an extra trade. And I'm like, dang it, why'd I take an extra trade? It would have saved me from that extra trade, where it's not big, right? Like, that's not a huge spiraling out of control or anything, but it's breaking my rules. Take an extra loss. So basically, we're looking at the next day now. If I get a profit, if I make, you know, hit my goal for the next day, instead of making profit on top of that loss, basically I'm just recovering that loss. And it's like, okay, now we got 2 wasted days there. So even if it's not for spiraling out of control, but the other big thing is for the tech issues. It's going to save you from the tech issues. Yeah, I would have not lost all my PA accounts as well whenever I had that copier issue. Chris also would have saved his PAs from his tech issues. Like, just do it. David, yeah, saved his day. I mean, it happens, right? Like, we have to have these fail safes for ourselves, for tech, to protect ourselves from ourselves and protect ourselves from tech issues. Got to do it. I'm like the biggest believer in that. If everything goes to crap, well, the worst that can happen is me losing my max loss that I'm willing to risk for the day anyways. That's just so huge. And I love that NinjaTrader with my live account. It'll, like, I set that amount and it'll literally lock me out for the day, and I can't even go in there and turn it off until the market, the next futures session in the evening. So and for me, it's too much trouble it's just too much trouble. I'm too lazy to do it. To go in there, switch the risk parameters for all my PA accounts, and then, because my live is my leader account, Then that means I'd have to go open NinjaTrader, open a brand new chart, adjust my copier. I'm not going to do all that. And even if I wanted to, by the time I got through all that, I'd have, there enough time would pass that I'd say, "What am I doing? This is stupid." All right, we are not displacing anywhere, so that's actually a good sign that we'll continue long. Because yeah, we got a little sibby there. I'm not worried about that one. So as long as we keep like trickling down to here, and I would like to see it at least wick down into here and come up. As long as we don't displace somewhere, then we should. Oh, we just got another 15-minute. Hold on. We might get an entry here. I just realized we just got another 15-minute BISI. Look. That we're in. So this is actually good. So let's see. We're here. You got to be careful for displacement. But I do want to see. Actually, I might wait to see if we can come back up above here. Because we have this little fair value gap. Just got to be cautious to make sure it doesn't want to displace down lower here. But if I get a confirmation up here, yeah, then I might be getting ready to go up to that volume imbalance, maybe. So we'll see. So you see how on the 1 minute that rebalanced immediately after hitting this fair value gap here. So you got to be a little cautious because I don't want it to pull back deeper into this one. So we'll see if we get a confirmation here. That's funny, Will. That'd be great. We got 2 minutes until 10:21. By the way. So this would be the change in the state of delivery here. And you see how it's holding? But the reason why I want to wait for up here, we have this little... I don't use the 15-second fair value gaps or anything, but I did want to see it trade through this at least first. And it did, but then it failed to go above this first set of down candles to get into that fair value gap. So we'll see if this holds. And then I want to see it come up here. I don't like how many times it's coming back into this 1 minute fair value gap. But I mean, if you look on the 1 minute chart, it is holding up nicely though. So we'll see. Could just be waiting for 1021. Here you go, 1021. Let's see if anything happens. Oh, that was weak. So basically, if this one gets traded through this 1 minute fair value gap and we see it go down into this 15-minute one, then I'll wait for basically a market structure shift to the long side, fair value gap, all that good stuff to go long. I'm still waiting and letting it do its thing though, because if it does, if it comes above this one here, then I may be willing to go in. Needs to hurry up though, because I got to go use the restroom. It's like the worst whenever you're might be getting into a trade soon and then you got to pee. It's like, come on. All right, let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Maybe. Might get an entry if we can get closed up above that. Nope. Mind over bladder. Yeah, there we go. That's another whole discipline teaching here. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing, NQ? It's looking like it wants to go up, but need my entry here. We need it. Need it to go. And what I'll probably do, if I get an entry here, big if, I'll probably put my stop right on this 1 minute fair value gap. Because if I get an entry, I do not want to see it come back into that fair value gap. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got to close above it. Now I need price to get above this wick, though. About 315. Be about a 25-point stop. So see how we closed here, but we didn't get a confirm. We didn't get trade above the wick, so. Mind over bladder. Let's go. All right, what are we doing? Come on. Oh, my chart keeps moving. And I really like this because a lot of times when you do this right and you get in, that's about the time the market goes. You get, you don't sit through all this nasty chop and sit there and have to go through it all. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm in. I'm going long. Putting my stop on this 1 minute fair value gap, like I said, because I don't want to see it come back there. And I'm going to put my target right here, right below that volume imbalance, because I think we should get up to it. I got a 30-point stop because I ended up getting a not so good fill. So I'm going to put my stop under this little swing here for about a 25-point stop. I don't want to see it come back down. We have this little sibby that we need to get up through. I want to see get some displacement up out of this, though. We have yet to displace. All right, let's see. Now, I'm not expecting it to be a very easy low resistance trade based on how the market's been trading this morning. If it does go up. That's a big if. We are hitting a 5-minute sibby right there as well. So we got to trade up through that. Hitting this sibby. I only have a 25-point stop, so I'm pretty much just going to let this ride out, and hopefully what I want to see is us get another Bissy in here, and that'll give me, more confidence. You got to watch, though. If price does get up to these highs, all the wicks, you got to watch the bodies in case if it can't get through there. Like right up in here. Now we got this Bissy here. It may trade into it, so that's why I can't move my stop yet, because it could trade into it here. And then I don't want it to tag me out and then keep going. I could move my stop up below this and save another 10 points, because it shouldn't come back down here. In fact, that's what I'm going to do just in case. So I'm at 304 with my stop. In case if it just comes flying down, I have about a 15-point stop now. It shouldn't, but we never know, right? Now, if it does pull back into this one and then keep going, then I can move to break even. At this point, it's still too early for me to go to break even. However, if we get up into this area above 345.50, then I'll go to break even. Got another little Bissy here. Right there. See how we dipped right up into this? See, this would be very close to tagging me. That probably, because I like to move my stop to break even plus a little bit, so that would have probably knocked me out right there. And that way I'm still giving myself a chance on this, right? But also, I did reduce my stop. So I only have a 15-point risk in case if it doesn't work out, because nothing's guaranteed. $15 points and targeting about 42. So right now about almost just shy of a 3 RR. Risk reward there. Risk reward ratio. And then just be patient. Now, like I said, if we take this area, this 345.50, I will go to break even. I can go to break even now since we went into this BISI and we did take this high, but first I want to see us get up through here. But really shouldn't come back down into this. But I only have a 15-point stop, so I want to let it play out here. Don't like what it's doing now. But if we keep hesitating and keep not being able to go up from here, then I will consider moving to break even. Like if we fail to take this recent high right here and we just keep staying in this area, then I might have to go to break even. So that's what I do. That's why I don't like to set it and forget it and say, oh, I got to stop in place. I got a target. No, you got to read the market too, because you can save yourself from some losses if you're reading how it's what it should and shouldn't be doing. Need further displacement higher. Let's go. Get on up there. See, it shouldn't be doing this. Nope. Failed. Got me. Make sure I'm flat. Yep. See, now we're displacing. So, hey, it is what it is. It failed to get up there. And that's why I reduced my stop. I didn't want to be too low because this shouldn't happen if it's going to go higher. So at least, you know, like I said, only 15 point stop right there. I can live with that. All good. I mean, we do have a lot of sell side liquidity below, but it could want to go back into this 15-minute fair value gap here. That's what. That's also why I wanted to manage my stop the way I did, in case if it wants to come deeper in a deeper retracement before continuing up, if it does continue up. But like I said earlier at the beginning, I have a lot of sell side liquidity and reasons to go down here. That when this 15-minute fair value gap is the opening bar, it's a 50-50. It may or may not hold. So basically, if we take this dealing range here of this high and this low, it could pull back to equilibrium, which is right here, 245.75. It could pull back to that and then continue up. It's definitely a possibility. So anyways, it's 10:36 now, so that's my trade. That's my trade. That's all I'm going to get here on the stream. And yeah, again, I won't be here tomorrow. I won't be here Thursday, so I'll be back Monday. And I'll probably be able to trade Friday, just not stream. But I'm definitely not taking any trades tomorrow. So, yep, that's it. That's it. Just be patient, be cautious. And as always, trade well, everybody. I'll see y'all on Monday. Take care.